Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are going to trace the path of a single drop of blood through one of the most incredible networks on Earth, your cardiovascular system. So you've heard these terms, right? A blood clot, a stroke, a heart attack. They sound kind of similar, but they are three completely different emergencies, all caused by blockages in three totally different places. The question is, how?
Well, the key to solving this whole puzzle is to follow the roadmap. By tracing the exact journey that a single drop of blood takes, we can figure out how a problem in one spot can lead to a disaster in a completely different one. So, let's start the trip.
All right, first up, the body's superhighway. I want you to think of your circulatory system as this massive, non-stop delivery network. And like any great logistics system, its entire purpose, believe it or not, boils down to just two main destinations.
Yup, that's it. This whole incredibly complex system is basically designed to do just two things. Go to the lungs to pick up fresh cargo, that's oxygen, and then deliver that cargo to the rest of the body. Pick up and deliver. That is the mission, plain and simple.
And right at the center of this whole operation, you have the heart. But here's the first big surprise. It's not just one pump. It's actually two distinct pumps, a right side and a left side, kind of fused together and working in perfect sync. And get this, each side has a totally separate job. And this is just a perfect division of labor. The right side of the heart, it handles the short trip, sending that used up blood just next door to the lungs. We call that the pulmonary circuit. Meanwhile, the powerful left side, it has the massive job of pumping fresh blood to literally your entire body. That's the systemic circuit.
So each of those two pumps, the right and the left, is split again, which gives us a grand total of 4 chambers. The two top chambers, the atria, they basically act as receiving docks for blood coming into the heart. Then you have the two muscular bottom chambers, the ventricles. These are the heavy lifters, the powerful pumps that push blood out.
And this is where it gets so cool, because it brilliantly shows how form follows function. I mean, think about it. Pumping blood all the way to your brain and your toes takes way more oomph than just pushing it next door to the lungs. So, of course, the left ventricle is thicker, it's more muscular, because its job is just plain harder. Makes total sense, right? Okay, now that we've got the key components down, let's trace the full circuit. Understanding this path is the key to, well, everything. So we're going to put all the pieces together right now. Let's start with that used up, deoxygenated blood returning from the body. It enters the right atrium, then flows down to the right ventricle. The right ventricle pumps this blood on that short trip to the lungs. In the lungs, it's a gas exchange, dropping off CO2 and picking up fresh oxygen. Now the blood is bright red and full of life. It returns to the heart's left atrium, then down into the mighty left ventricle. With one powerful contraction, the left ventricle sends this fresh blood out the main highway, the aorta, to energize the entire body. And then the cycle repeats every single second of your life. For this superhighway to work without, traffic jams or U-turns, it needs strict rules. And this really comes down to two things: the right kind of pipes or vessels, and a system of one-way gates, which we call valves. So let's start by busting a common myth. A lot of people think arteries carry oxygenated blood. Not always. The real definition is all about direction. Arteries carry blood away from the heart. Just think, A for artery, A for away. And veins? They do the opposite. They carry blood back to the heart. It doesn't matter if it's oxygenated or not. If the destination is the heart, it's a vein. This distinction is absolutely everything.
In fact, one source puts it so powerfully: toda otra definición de vena o de arteria es imprecisa e incorrecta. It means any other definition of a vein or artery is imprecise and incorrect. This clarifies why the pulmonary artery, which carries deoxygenated blood away from the heart to the lungs, is still an artery. It's all about direction.
All right, now for the gates. To keep blood moving in one direction, the heart has 4 valves that snap shut, preventing any backflow. As blood moves from the atria down to the ventricles, it passes through the tricuspid and mitral valves.
And as it's pumped out of the ventricles, it exits through the pulmonary and aortic valves. It's a beautiful one-way system.
Okay, one last piece of plumbing, and this is a big one. The heart is a muscle that works nonstop, so it needs its own dedicated fuel supply. These are the coronary arteries, these tiny vessels that branch off the aorta and wrap around the heart, delivering oxygen directly to the heart muscle. Now remember this detail for later. It's crucial. Okay, here we go. Now we have all the knowledge we need to solve the mystery from the beginning. We understand the map, the pipes, and the gates. So let's look at what happens when there's a critical failure, a blockage, or what doctors call an infarct.
First, the pulmonary embolism. Imagine a patient is immobile for a long time, maybe after surgery. Blood can pool in their deep leg veins and form a clot. If that clot breaks free, it travels up the veins through the right atrium and right ventricle and is then pumped, where? Directly into the lungs, where it gets stuck in the small vessels. The blockage is in the lungs, but the problem started way down in the leg.
Now, a stroke. This often starts with something like atrial fibrillation, where the left atrium doesn't beat properly and blood can pool, forming a clot. So where does that clot go? From the left atrium to the left ventricle and then out the aorta. From the aorta, it has a straight shot up to the brain where it lodges in a narrow artery. A different origin, a different path, a different disaster.
And finally, the classic heart attack. This is not caused by a traveling clot from somewhere else. This is a local problem. It's a blockage in one of those tiny coronary arteries we talked about, the heart's own fuel lines. When one gets blocked, a part of the heart muscle starts to die from lack of oxygen.
So here's the crucial takeaway. 3 different infarcts, all defined by the path the blood, or the clot, travels. For a pulmonary embolism, the clot starts in the legs and ends in the lungs. For a stroke, it often starts in the left heart and ends in the brain. For a heart attack, it starts and ends in the heart's own coronary arteries. It all comes back to the map.
This entire system works silently, 24/7, to keep you alive. And understanding its journey isn't just a fascinating piece of anatomy, it's the key to understanding your own health. So it leaves us with a final thought. Knowing the route, how well are you maintaining your own highways?